What's going on today, guys? It's leaf season, so I feel compelled to talk a little bit about a leaf cleaning machine, the Walker mower. If you're in the commercial business, do you need a Walker mower? Maybe. We'll talk about it a little bit, so stay tuned. As with any machine, there's pluses and minuses to a Walker mower. The one of the largest minuses is really expensive, and it's a high maintenance machine too. It's got a lot of moving parts and such in it, and all the parts are pretty specialized to the machine. So there's not going to be a lot of universal parts out there, that kind of deal. So the key thing, if you're going to get one of these, is keep up with the maintenance and have a dealer that knows these things inside out. And fortunately, my Walker dealer, while a small engine, the premier Walker Bobcat Red Max dealer in Red Oak, North Carolina, he can hear me drive it off the trailer and tell me what part I need on it. I'm not even kidding. But every little piece and part on it is pretty specific to Walker and is available from Walker and is replaceable, right down to the decals, everything else. And this particular one here has had about every damn thing replaced on it. I'm not saying it's junk or anything. I'm just saying that it's a lot of moving parts and it's going to require maintenance, and it's going to require you to keep up with what breaks on it and replace it. There's plastic chutes up under the deck that shoot it up into the box, and then there's a funnel in the ball. That kind of stuff wears out over time. The deck shell wears out like any other mower. The deck shell's gonna wear out, but anyway, those are just something. The blower in it, but we'll look at some of the parts. Okay, the hopper box lifts up here, and that's how you got to dump it. And this engine was just rebuilt. And on this older model here, this is how you open the hood to all this. It's all the drive system in it. And this wheel motor deal set up here, extremely durable. These last forever. This blower right here is a wear item, so you will have to replace this every now and again. And from the last time this one was replaced, I can still see the price on it. And it says $400, so that doesn't include putting it in. And that was $400 before the world went crazy, so count on that costing more now. Walkers usually have the Kohler engine, one of the last American-made small engines you'll get in something like this. But as you can see, lots of moving parts. It's like a car under the hood, basically. So there's things to replace. These plastic chutes like that run down to the deck, and it'll pull up the grass into this, and this impeller, it'll vacuum it and reduce it and shoot it into this thing here. And we'll look at this from the back side. Whoops. Now we'll look at it from the back side. Okay. A really cool little deal in here. The material shoots up through this, and this actually rotates, so it fills the box up uniformly. And this little deal here, when it starts hitting stuff, it'll go off to tell you that the box is full. How about that? Speaking of that, there's another part you'll be replacing some. That's the warning buzzer that tells you when the box is full. Try to avoid leaving wet grass in this thing, or you'll be replacing these parts like this often. Dump your grass out when you're done with it. You can see it's got a little motor on it here that spins that thing back and forth. High tech. On this older one like this, the door flips straight up, and on the newer ones, See, this is a problem if you back the thing up into the woods or something and you're next to a tree, you can't get the lid up. But the newer ones, the lid just kind of goes like this and then folds up onto the top. So it doesn't require as much space to dump it. I'm just gonna pull this tab here. Close it. There it is. I've had to replace the fuel tank on it too. The wheels. Pretty much every part on it's been replaced. So you're a dude in the commercial mowing business. Do you need a walker mower? No. Do you want one? Yeah, you probably do. I've been doing this for about 20 years, and for most of that time I have had a walker mower in my fleet. It's not a mower that you use on every property every time, because it is kind of slow on larger properties. It's only a 48-inch deck on this particular model, but you can interchange decks on it. I mean, you can pull there's some pins on it you pull, and you can pull the whole deck out and you put accessories on it. Larger decks, side discharge decks, mulching decks, that kind of thing, if you're willing to pay for it. But maybe, I'll back up. Maybe if you're the kind of dude who just wants one mower, you can get you a big deck to go on it, and a collection deck and a big side discharge deck, and you can do what you want to do with it. But in my experience from doing this for a while, is I'll use the walkers a lot during leaf cleanup, and I'll use them a whole lot on my nicer fescue properties. They cut beautifully, and you're not going to get grass clumps blowing everywhere like you would with a mulching mower or a side discharge mower, because obviously it collects it. Therein lies the next problem. Ooh, the sun is in my eyes. Therein lies the next problem. If you're going to use this somewhere, you're going to either have to have a dump truck or a lot of space on a trailer, somewhere to dump leaves. Or what I do with most of my properties is, the ones that I cut with it, for the most part, I'll have somewhere on the property that I can take the stuff and dump it. And the ones that I can't do that, I really don't like cutting them with the walker, because I got to deal with all that grass clippings, and grass clippings will add up, man. This thing will generate a butt ton of clippings, and it'll get a lot in the hopper, because as you saw with the impeller in there, it's going to reduce them. Just like with these leaves, it reduces them down and packs them into that hopper, and it packs it pretty full with that snorkel system there. So there's a lot in there when you dump it. So having something to do with them is really a key to having one of these things. Another key to the nice cut you get with these is the articulating deck. So the deck can pivot in different directions individually of the tractor or the machine, so you don't get any scalping. I'll show you what that kind of looks like. So you can't see it because I'm in front of it, but that wheel's still on the ground. This wheel's not. How about that? Lift the deck's pretty simple. You slide these pins out on both sides, and then you can pick the deck up and hook it, and you'll have to do that a lot to unclog it during leaf season. I'll show you that here in a second. All right, this deck is freaking shot. It's not supposed to be like that. There is a dude in town who will weld me some stainless steel baffles in here to fix this up. I just need to get through the rest of this season and get him to do that. But I've seen some he does. It's a nice job. Or I can buy another shell from Walker for about $1,000 probably. But another reason this thing cuts so awesome is you can see the blades are super long, so they're timed, so they rotate in opposite directions, pushing all the material into this chute here, and that's where it is collected, and the impeller blows it back up into the box. But if you have a problem with one of these things that keeps the blade on track to keep them from hitting, you'll know it. What a ruckus. But anyway, that's how that works. So, you know, beautiful cut out of these things. So again, we were talking about if you're a commercial guy getting one of these things, one of the biggest deals is having something to do with the clippings and having some good dealer support and keeping up the maintenance on it. You got to ask yourself too, what kind of grass are you cutting? I use these a lot on my higher cut grasses and to clean up leaves. But if you're going to be mowing a lot of warm season grasses that you're going to cut in a lower setting with sandy base under it, you know, you're going to be sucking a lot of that sand up if you've got the deck close to the ground. So all that sand coming up through the collection parts, the chutes, the snorkel, the impeller, you're going to wear those out pretty quick like that. You're going to sandblast them. So that's something to keep in mind. And plus, you're going to have something to do with all those clippings. So, you know, you got to weigh it out if it's even practical for you. And it's a super expensive machine, but it does stuff that I can't do with a mid-mount mower or stand on or even walk behind to some extent. Is it worth it for you? I don't know. That's something you're going to have to decide for yourself. But like I said, I've had one for most of the time I've been in business and do use it quite a bit. But like I said again, I don't crack it out on every property. So you got to keep that in mind too. But all right, so we'll look at a couple other little things about it, and I'll show you some mowing action, and we'll wrap up. A lot of people aren't in favor of this kind of stripe it leaves. You see that middle line right there? That comes from that center mounted tail wheel, and there's a way out of that too. But there's your center mounted tail wheel. You can actually get a kit that will move this out to the sides and put 2 small tires on it that'll track behind the drive tires. I got a call. I had to stop talking about the back wheel. But anyway, yeah, wheel split kit that'll put a tire here and a tire here, no tire in the center, smaller tires, and they'll track behind the drive tire, so you won't leave that middle strip. The other cool thing about the wheel kit is the tires that go on it are pretty standard tires that you can buy ching chong ching chin knockoffs for. And you see this tire is Walker specific, so it's expensive. All right, let's do some action mowing. Another thing, this isn't a very good example of the typical leaves you'll run up on. All these yellow leaves down here are off of this ginkgo tree. Somebody just rode a weed eater by here. But man, these things, I can't even tear it. These things are like leather. They're very rubbery when they're green. And when they turn yellow, that you could make a shirt or something out of this thing, man. It will not tear. So pretty bad example, but like dry oak leaves and stuff sucks them up a lot better. But for some reason, I like the color of these when I'm out doing my leaf sucking up videos. So I always do this. But anyway, for what it's worth, hard leaf to pick up. doesn't get every single leaf up, but I mean, it does a good job. This is some pine straw and some bigger leaves in this, but again, leaves a awesome cut and stripe. Another drawback to these things is the fuel capacity is a little light, so you're gonna want to carry you know, some extra gas so you can go all day without refueling. So there's that. There are tons of options for these things, attachments for the front, snow blowers, crap like that. I never would need that. High lift dumps, automatic dumps. On this one, I've got the cast iron. I can't even point at it. The cast iron gearboxes for the deck, that they're a lot more durable, it seems, than the other ones. So, you know, you got to weigh out you know, when you're looking into one of these, you know, what your needs are. It's pricey. One of these is probably between $14,000 and $15,000 now, and you know, by the time you get a good mid-mount mower for 10, 11 grand, add a $3,500 collection system to it, you're right back in the ballpark of what this costs. So I don't know if that's really the good option or not. And with this, it's all self-contained. If you put like a Pico system or a powered bagger on a mid-mount mower, you got all that blower and stuff sticking out the chute side, so it makes the mower a lot wider and more cumbersome. And I don't know if I'd really want to be attaching and reattaching all that stuff all the time. So there's that to think about. Well, there it is, the Walker, and my thoughts on it. You can get thousands and thousands of hours out of them. You're just going to have to do service and replace parts every now and again. The drive system that showed you, that lasts for a long time. If you get 1,700 hours out of a motor before rebuilding, you're doing good. But then other parts are going to wear and need replacing along the way. Expensive machine to maintain, but keeps a good cut, and they'll last a long time if you keep parts up on them. The Walker.